Welcome back, everybody, to the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. As always, I'm your host, Tony DeMakis, with Alliance Specialties and Alliance Laser Sales, where we are mold makers that don't build molds. Every week, I say it, every week, some people think it sounds ridiculous, and it can be, right? We don't build molds because that's your job. We want to do all the additional things. We want to help you all the things that you can't find people to do, because whether or not you know it or you believe it, there is a shortage of skilled labor out there. We would like that to stop. And, Justine Ewald, the TMA, is doing a great job with the Education Foundation and trying to figure all that out and how to find more people so that we can all have the businesses that we want to have and do the things that we want to do. And keep telling people how this is a great industry and manufacturing is thriving and it's growing and it's getting better. And so you're here. Welcome to our show. We do everything from plastic injection, mold finishing and polishing, laser welding, laser engraving, hot runner repair, preventative mold maintenance. Anything that needs to be done to a mold after it's built, we can help you out with. And if you're just looking for somebody to help with production welding or engraving, you've got a lot of parts, you got a high volume of parts, you need to find somebody to weld those together, we can do that for you too. If you like the show, if you're a fan of the show, I hope you are. I would like for you to like and subscribe wherever you are watching that, whether that's LinkedIn, whether that's on YouTube, somewhere else that somebody maybe posted it. I don't know. Just like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. We're doing some fun stuff. Justine and I have been doing a fun little project called Make Manufacturing Fun Again, where we are going into local businesses and finding out who they are, what they do, why they do it. And then they are putting us to the test to see if we can do the things. Which one of us would be a better employee for that company? It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of learning. And I am looking forward to continuing to do that. Week after week with her, not week after week. If it was week after week, that would be amazing. If that was all I had to focus on was just hanging out with Justine and learning that I'm not good at a lot of stuff, that would be great. Because I'm really not good at a lot of stuff. If you watch the series, you'll see that. This is why I do this, is what I'll say. But we do make a great laser welding machine. It's called the ID1. It's made here in Prairie Grove, Illinois. It is a fiber laser system. If you're welding things and they're small and they're intricate, you don't need to do TIG or MIG welding. You can do it with a laser welder. And it's here. It's made in the United States. And why is that important? It's important because if something breaks or goes wrong, we are right here to help you. You don't have to wait to talk to somebody in China or Germany or whatever that looks like, right? There's not a 12, 17-hour delay between when you have a problem and when you get a solution. So we're here to do that. And more than that, we believe that God's children are not for sale, but American-made laser welding systems are. So if you see this and you buy a laser welding machine from us and you mention that we are working with the Tim Tebow Foundation, we will donate a portion of that sale to the Tim Tebow Foundation to help end human trafficking. It is a big issue in the world, and we want to help get rid of that. So, and you can be part of that. We got a couple things coming up. We will be at MD&M West next week, February 3rd through the 5th in Anaheim, California. This is where industry leaders are coming together. People in the medical field, people in aerospace, people in automotive, whatever that looks like. This is the largest medical device and manufacturing show in North America. And I'm happy to say that I'll be there back behind the News and Brews desk, talking to industry leaders and insiders, doing interviews, having fun, bunch of games, running around, being ridiculous. I'll be there with a whole host of team members, and it's going to be a good time. If you are trying to find people to build your parts, to mold your parts, to engineer your parts, whatever that looks like, you should be at MD&M West. Go sign up. Just click the QR code and enter the code NBT26, and you can give yourself a discount on that so you don't have to pay a full price, because nobody wants to do that. Last but not least, what do we have coming up? Today, we're talking to my buddy, Larry Spelman from JH Bots. Next week, as I said, I will be in MD&M West. We may squeeze in an interview here or there. We'll see what that looks like. And then February 11th, Jess Wright will be joining us from 360 MEP. Used to see her a lot at TMA events, and she went away for a little bit. But she's ready to be back, and I'm excited that she agreed to talk with us. So that'll be coming up in a couple weeks. And we are also booked up through probably the middle of March with guests. So that means every week you will be getting a new episode of the Manufacturing Alliance podcast. If you would like to be part of the show, we want you to be part of the show. And it's really easy for you to do. All you have to do is email us at tony@alliancelasersales.com. And we will make sure that we get back to you and get you involved, because everybody, as Larry and I are going to talk about, everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has some reason to come on and share what they are going through. And that means you. People need to hear your story. So all that being said, we're going to get into the conversation. I'm going to bring in Larry, and then we're going to jump into stuff. Larry, how are you, my friend?
I am doing wonderful, Tone. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm glad that you said yes.
It's very easy to say yes when you get to hang out with you.
Oh,
you got great energy, my friend.
You are too nice to me. I don't deserve it. So for people that don't know who you are, why don't you tell them, like, who is Larry and where do you work?
So I work at J.H. Bots down in Joliet, right next to the old Blues Brothers prison where Jake came out in the beginning of the movie. We share a property line with that prison. So
is there a paintball facility down there too?
There's many paintball facilities down there.
I think I went there for my brother's bachelor party. I think we took him to Joliet paintball for his bachelor party, and I chained a bowling ball to his ankle.
That's not fair.
Well, it was the ball and chain, right? Like he was getting ready to get hitched, and so he won because he brought his own gun. And he just found a place to snipe us. And so he didn't have to move with the stupid bowling ball. And it didn't pay off. But go ahead. You guys are in Joliet.
We're in Joliet. And if you drive up and down the streets of Chicago on the tollway, on any of the numerous big highways, even the residential areas, the street is lit. And J.H. Bots' anchor bolts are holding the poles.
That's
in
awesome.
Place. We make some light pole foundations that are non-concrete bases that go down in the Chicago market in the inner city where they're doing a lot of light conversions. And then if you drive along 355 and you see those big utility poles, we make the big foundations that hold those utility poles, and we ship them all over the country. So a lot of big steel, a lot of bar that we bring in and plate that we bring in from all the mills, and we're in a very advantageous area to be able to do that. We got a great workforce down there that's been with us for a long time. We're, I think, 53 years. Back in 23, we celebrated our 50-year anniversary. So
good for you.
Fun stuff. Yeah. Great company. Great business.
And you said you've been there 30 of those 50?
I've been there 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah. It's J.H. Bots, which is the gentleman that started the company in 73, John Bots. He was there until 1998. And then he had his son-in-law took it over. Okay. He ran it for 15 years. And then the current owner, Mike Friel, who also owns St. Louis Screw and Bolt and Hayden Bolt, he owns 3 companies, all in the structural bolt market, purchased it in 2013. And he asked me to come out there and run it in 2016. So
where are you originally from?
Originally, don't hold it against me, New York. I grew up right outside New York City.
I got nothing against New York. There's plenty of great people in New York.
Plenty of them.
Plenty. Yeah, that's great. It's great. I don't hold it against you at all.
So, but via the University of Richmond, playing football, and then meeting my wife in Ohio right after college, and I've been in the Midwest ever since. And I love the Chicago market, love the Chicago area. It's just it's a much better version of New York, I like to say.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm biased, but I would agree with that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. How did you get into the manufacturing space in the first place?
Like any fool that goes to play football only in college, I graduated with a sociology and criminal justice degree, made it to the 3rd round of the Secret Service interviews because I'm big by stature.
Yes, you are.
And they were all gung-ho about getting me into the Secret Service, and then they scared the gajibers out of me because they knew They knew so much about my background that I purposely didn't want anybody to know about. Just some family history. They knew that my mom got off the boat from Germany in 1956 in New York Harbor. And I
Wow.
mean, they had so much detail. They scared me. So
And that's
I
before the internet. That's before it
yeah,
was
oh yeah.
easy to find information about people.
That is a great point, because and that's probably why it scared me so much. Today, you'd expect it, right?
Yeah.
You go on a simple job interview, everybody knows all those things. But for me, it was an aha moment. It was a scary moment. And then I met my wife, like I said, shortly after that happened. I ended up in Ohio, and I ended up working in the lumber industry um, for about 10 years in the Menor, Ohio area. And we distributed lumber, but we also manufactured some component parts and all that. And that just un, unwound a career in manufacturing in the building products industry. And we had our own business out on the East Coast for a while, and ended up back in Ohio, and met the owner of JH Bots kind of on a whim, because of my youngest son was
Yeah.
over there after school one day, and he needed a ride home, and I went to pick him up, and he didn't come out like he was supposed to when I honked the horn. And literally, I ended up staying there and having a couple of adult beverages with the owner, and we got to talking. And I needed an opportunity to sink my teeth, and he needed someone to turn his company around. And I ended up. That's how I ended up at JH Bots.
Isn't it
So
great when God's plan is better than ours?
it's so much better.
It's so much better. Well, you just go like, "Hey,
You
I
know,
give you control."
my German mother always said, "Swim with the current, don't swim against it."
Yeah, that's good.
And it took her a long time to figure that out and realize that. She would have told you that. She passed at 19, but, yeah, that's the truth. Let the tributary, just let it go and just go with it, and,
Yeah,
it'll get you where you need to go. Good things happen to good people.
I agree. And you have to be open to that, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to be paying attention to the things around you.
I
And
love that, paying attention. Great
yeah,
term. Yeah.
and one of the big things that I'm focusing on this year is intentionality.
Mhm.
So, I think it's way too easy to just live on autopilot and do the things that you do every day, and you forget why, right? Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? What's the purpose behind it? It's way too easy to just like, you're driving down the highway and the windshield wipers are going. And before you know it, you're like past your exit. You're like, how did I get here? What just happened? And I think way too often we do that same thing in life.
Mhm.
And so my goal this year is to do things with intentionality and ask myself two questions. What are you doing and why are you here? And if there's an opportunity, I got to ask those questions. What are you doing and why are you here? And be honest about those answers and see what that looks like. And not say no to opportunity, but make sure it's the right opportunity.
Right, right. Don't be distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the smallest thing that you guys make?
Oh, the smallest anchor bolt we make is half-inch diameter,
Okay.
and it's about 15 inches long.
All right.
And it's a local company, Sternberg, that makes decorative poles that go into a lot of streetscapes and a lot of waterfront scapes. And we sell. That's where those go. They're a local Illinois-based, Chicago-based company, and we make probably about 50,000 of those a year.
That's amazing.
Um, and that's our smallest.
Yeah. So, it's just fun because I get to have the opportunity to talk with people that work in like micro
Hmm.
manufacturing, the stuff that's going to go in your eye. And then, you've got these monstrous things that,
Right.
you know, it's the whole gamut of what has to be manufactured.
Um, the nice thing about our stuff, I know you work in tight tolerance, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Our tolerances are not tight, and
Yeah.
it probably fits me pretty well. Right? Big stuff with big tolerances that we can figure out how to weld with robots, and do all those fun things to make everybody's jobs at JH Bots better.
Yeah.
That's always our single most goal. And that just, like you said, that leads you down a path. Don't fight that path. Run with that path, and it's really cool when you see the results happen.
So when it comes to that, I mean, You guys have, I would guess, in the past been big users of traditional welding,
Right.
which has its own hurdles and headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Not one
Very,
of those
very
being
traditional.
people.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a gentleman, the gentleman that leads our welding area, for instance, has only worked at Jade Spots his whole life. So
Okay.
he's been there for 38 years. And he started when he was 18. So do the math, right? He's 50, he's in his mid 50s.
Yep.
Um, I think we might even still have the welding equipment that he started with. I don't think
Sure.
it's on the floor because I don't think it passes calibration anymore. But
Sure. Sure.
yeah, and then there was a series of gentlemen that followed behind him that aren't, they're in their late 40s, early 50s as well.
Yep.
And like you said, they're not getting younger, they're getting older. You got to figure out how to take all that knowledge and all that skill set and all those products that they built over a long period of time, and now we've got to make more of them, and we've got to make more of them with the same or less amount of people,
Yep.
right? Because you have to grow.
Yep.
And then how do you make their jobs better and make them able to work until they're Medicare age, with able to get to the end of their pension, get them into their 60s.
Yep.
And we've had over the last 5 years, we've had 35-year employee, 40-year employee,
Mm.
38-year employee, all retired. And we've had to transition all that work. And that's never a one for one. That transition is never, you don't take a guy that's been working in your building for 35 years and put one guy in place, show him what he's doing for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden that guy can retire. It
No.
never, it never works like that, right?
No.
So
If you could be like the Matrix and just like plug it into the back of somebody's head and turn that on, that would be
that
amazing.
too.
But we don't have that capability.
Nope. So what we try to do is we always plan as we have a retirement and we have an information challenge that we have to transfer. We always try to surround some automation around that and
Sure.
try to say, how can we now take this and dumb it down is a bad term, but let's use technology to enhance the process so that someone maybe with less experience under the right leadership and guidance can get that much work plus more done. And that strategy, especially over the last 5 years, has been extremely successful for us. And the revenue growth is and the profitability is shown.
Yeah. And it takes planning to be able to do that. Like you have to be a forward thinking company to say, what's going to happen? We are running out of years on the people that we have here.
It's interesting too. We had a lot of 20 somethings when I started at Bots that were really, really hungry and capable of building their lives, right?
Mm.
Now 10 years later, those people are in their mid 30s. What was important to them in their 20s is different. What's important now in their 30s. Now they have houses, they have families, they have children, they have all these things that are drawing their time away from them, right?
Yep.
And how do you substitute that? How do you fix that? How do you balance that? You got to do that with automation. You got to do that with finding time in a day and finding ability. We're going through an ERP system improvement this year. We have to change over. We have to get with the times. We were on an antiquated ERP system, and we're going to find a lot of it is just giving those people some time back so they can have a
Yeah.
quality and a balance of life. So
Well, and that was one of the things that happened with COVID too, right? Like there were people that loved overtime and loved being at work, and like that was what they knew. And
right.
once COVID came around, it was like people were like, "Wait, I have things outside of the shop. I have things outside of the office. There's other things that I want to do with my life and my time." And so it caused a huge shift where people don't want to work 50 hours a week. They don't want to work 60 hours a week. They don't want to work on the weekends. And I get it. I mean, I don't either. So,
Right.
I'm not putting judgment on that. I'm just saying that's a reality that when my father started the business, like people wanted to work 50, 60 hours a week. They wanted to bring home the biggest paycheck that they could in that time frame. And once you hit
Hmm.
overtime, time and a half and double time, it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And that shift has happened. And I'm not saying it's a bad shift. I'm just saying that shift has happened. And so you have to look at how do we get past that, because you still need all that work to come in. Now it's a matter of how do you get it done.
Hmm. That's so. That's so spot on that you say that, because January 2nd, we changed our schedule
Hmm.
because we were on a 45-hour work week,
Okay.
and we were having problems getting employees to join our workforce because they looked at that and they said, 40, I got to work 45 hours. And it had a built-in 5 hours of overtime. It made the job um, better than most that
Yep.
were being offered in the community. So we made some adjustments in salary. We moved some rates up. We reduced the overtime. We changed the start time, and it allowed us to attract some labor from a bigger market. We used to start at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Someone living an hour away has to get up at 3:30. That's
That's
tough.
crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't work. And that balance, the balance of time, the balance of life, what they want out of life, it's definitely changed. It's a new world. And yeah, COVID was a wake up moment. There's a lot of things people can say about COVID being a real pain in the neck,
Yeah.
but COVID did change some things, and I think for the better in some
I agree with
cases.
you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. One of those was going to Disney World. Man, there was nobody at Disney. It was empty. It was a ghost town. It was amazing. The longest wait for anything was like, 40 minutes. It was amazing.
Even without a fast path.
Without a fast pass. There was no
Yeah.
fast pass. It was amazing. It was so good. They limited how many people could go in there. They washed the rides after every person went through. They like sprayed it all down and everything. It was amazing. I can never go back. But you know, aside from that, it did make things, it made certain things better, right? Where here at Alliance, we never had people work from home. Like it wasn't a
Mhm.
thing. Moms just had to figure out, and dads, what to do with their kids when their kids were sick or their kids were home from school or they had early release or whatever that looked like. They just had to figure that out. And it what it did is it added more stress to the parents to have to be able to figure that out, especially with two parents working. And
Mhm.
and COVID said, no, you can work from home. You can figure that out
Right. Right.
here. And it's not difficult.
No.
And if you
No.
have a good team and you trust your team, then it's not a big deal either.
That's so pertinent because we had so many top performers. Like I said, they were transitioning in their life to where their challenges were different.
Yep.
And now one of them works from home 5 days a week.
Hmm.
And we could have never run the building 5 years ago without her in the building every day, right?
Yeah.
Now she works from home 5 days a week, and she's as capable and helps the business in different ways. She's grown into a group control into a controller position. She was the one that I would tell you she wasn't going to have babies first. She
Yeah.
had two babies in the matter of three years, right? So we had to do something. We had to just because
Yeah.
we didn't want to lose her. And she's so unbelievably thankful that we've created an environment, and she's so effective, and so many of our employees are so effective. Like this, being able to have a podcast, being able to have we were just on a Zoom meeting with our three companies,
Yep.
30 people participate in this ERP. It's made a change, and you had to adapt to it. And I went through that. Kathleen and I chasing literally talking on the phone. Who's going to get home first to
Yep.
get the boys at daycare before they close the daycare at 6 o'clock, right? Because you get charged like 10 times the amount at 6:01.
Because they want to go home too.
Yeah, everybody, and they have the right to go home. And you just feel
Absolutely.
so bad. And I remember how that pressure felt. And I said to myself, I'm going to be in a position of influence at some point, and I'm going to fix that for people.
Hmm.
And if you fix those type of things for people, they're part of your family. They want to work. They want to get things done. They
Yeah.
want to succeed with you. So, yeah, that's spot on that you say that. That's great.
And it's one of the benefits that happened from COVID. I mean, COVID
Mhm.
did teach us a lot of things. Or you shut down and close your doors and quit. I mean, that's just what it looks like. And if you did that, well, then other people reap the benefits
Yep.
with getting good people to bring on staff and being able to do that work. Um, that was a weird time of, you had some businesses, even now, some businesses, it's like they don't have any work. They can't figure out how to get work. They're selling, they're closing, whatever that looks like. And I think it's just a matter of the strong survive. Can you pivot? Can you move? Can you adjust a football guy? Can you make second half changes and
Right.
shifts and turn it around? Or do you just fold up and
Agile.
die?
Yeah. Agile is a word that I thought was I used to always hear it in computer lingo, right? My
Yeah.
my my middle son Brad, who's got an IT and an accounting degree, used to use this word agile. My wife Kathleen, who worked in industry, um, 5S, all that type of stuff with agile. You got to be agile every day with
Yeah.
everything you do. You've got to be able to flex, and you've got to let your people flex.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to be able to you give them the parameters and let them work the boundaries and figure out how to make a way to advance. You have to,
Yeah.
um, because if not, you're right. You're going to end up with a closed door. You're going to end up at the end where the water runs out, and no one wants to be in that position.
Well, it's like what we talked about when we first started, right? You have to be fluid. You have to be able to, like you said, ride with the current
Hmm.
and make those adjustments on the fly and, figure that out. We were about to go live and Kathleen said, "Hey, just so you know, the podcast got canceled." I was like, it's jumped up, make a change, like you don't have to sweat it. You just make an adjustment. Make an adjustment. It'll be fine. And then move forward with it. And
Yeah.
we are where we are, and you do the best that you can.
Yeah, and Kathleen's one that a lot of times I'll just shrug my shoulders and say, "Okay, well, let's just keep plugging forward." And she's a planner. She
Yeah.
likes things planned. She likes control. She likes those things, and that's why you could see the detail, right? She came
Yeah.
over and said, "Hey, we got an issue here. You better fix it." We fixed it.
And that's why you and I need those people in our lives, because
Yes.
I am not a detail guy, as evidenced of not being able to tell the difference between a 3 and an 8. That's just my life. But my wife is also very detail oriented. And what I know is I need those people around me to make me
Right.
better, to call me on my stuff, to check me when I'm wrong. As a leader, you have to be able to have some self-criticism, some criticism from the people you trust. I'm not saying
Mhm.
I want every person out there to give me their criticism and feedback, and then I'm going to listen to it the same way I am either my wife or the people I trust at work. Not everybody's criticism holds the same weight, but the people that you trust, you need to listen to and allow them to help you become better, or at least be an assist for all the things that you have to do. Like, I am never going to be a planner. They tell me to get a planner. They tell me to write stuff down. They tell me to do all this stuff. Like, that's fine. I can try. It's not in my nature.
Yeah.
I promise, if you were remind me, I won't call you a nag. I mean but that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, and you're good with it. You're humble. You've got a very humble way about you, and I try to subscribe to that too. Just I'm never always right. I'm never always wrong. I'm
Yeah.
somewhere always in the middle, right?
Yep.
And just help me get a better answer. Help me get a better right, or
Yeah.
help me figure out that is a worse wrong. Let,
Right.
let's 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 figure that out together because there's
Yes.
more minds in this room that are better. I never want to be the smartest guy in the room. Never
No.
do I want to be that.
If
Even if I do know something, I'm a product knowledge expert on something. Still, I'm not going to be the one that's going to force my opinion down anybody's throat.
if you ever come into a room and I'm the smartest one there, you should leave. You should just run, because there's nothing good happening there. It's just going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
That's great. Talk about humble.
Oh my gosh. You got to know where it's at.
That's the truth.
So when you guys were doing this, when you were looking at your workforce and people aging out or not having that knowledge base, I mean, the easy answer is go to automation, right?
Well, yeah, everybody thinks that's an easy statement, right?
Sure.
Because if someone can hold a weld line with
Yeah.
their hand, a robot, of course, can do that,
Should
right?
be able to.
Without any issue, right? Um, that's hardly the case. I'll be the first to admit I was a fool because I watched a gentleman weld the helical foundation, one of our light pole foundations, right, by hand.
Mhm.
I know a decent amount about welding, mostly because of my sons, because they know about it and they've taught me about it. Well, I thought, oh, we could put a robot's going to do this. We can do this with a robot. There's no problem. The robot, you put the robot on the joints. Well, not every joint is the same. Not every
Hmm.
joint is consistent. The parts are not consistent. Now there's upstream issues, there's downstream issues. We're not even in a river. We're not, I don't even have oars. What are you talking about here? You know what I
You're
mean?
on land.
Yeah. What I don't so now we're changing cutting apparatus. Now we're talking about
Yeah.
plasma table issues. We're talking about bending ratios, all these things. And then we fix all that. And now the welding still can't finish the part. So we had to take the welder, get a welder offline, put it in the welding cell, and the welding guy who's the knowledge expert has to run the welding cell. So now we
Mm.
have to teach him how to run the welding cell. We got to send him to robotics class. He's got to teach the robot how he's welding. We've got to take welding technology out of the robot. And then sure enough, I walk by the cell and here's Mario, 30-year, 25-year employee, great employee for us. He's welding where the ahead of the robot. So
Mm.
he knows where the robot struggles. So he'll fix that ahead of the robot, and then the robot will do the rest of it. And then the part comes off and the part's finished. Versus when we started the project, we've got 20 unfinished parts
Yep.
and we've got one finished part.
Right.
And now we got to go back and fix all the 20 of those parts. And I've got all these critics, all these guys with all this welding experience in the building looking at me like, well, you spent all this money. You don't know what you're doing. We told you so. We told you so. We told you so. Long story short, now those guys, that Freddie, my 38-year guy that I mentioned earlier, loves the robots
Yeah.
because he doesn't have to put the face shield on. He doesn't have to hold the torch. He doesn't have to do it. He can program the robot, and the robot does all of that tedious lines all day long, and it just keeps. And we make more parts that way. So,
Right.
yeah, it's been a journey. Learned a lot, but that agile piece of it, and just learning and being smart, and we weren't going to fail at it. There was
Right.
no way we were going to fail at it. We were going to find the solution. You just got to keep the windshield's this wide and the rear view mirror is only
Yes.
this big, right?
Yeah.
You just got to keep going and keep finding that solution. So, yeah, it was good. It was a really neat opportunity for us to get better.
And what it shows you is the art form of welding, right? Like it's
Mhm.
people for a long time have had the mistake that manufacturing jobs are for dumb people that, I mean, for a lack of a
Yeah,
better term, right? Like they're not the manufacturing jobs that people have thought are for uneducated people, dumb people who can't do these things. They're just people that are not going to have another career. And
right.
then you look at something like this, like the exact thing you're talking about, and you have a welder who knows and memorizes how those seams go, who can find those problem areas and find a way to weld them when a robot can't. And it's a problem solving skill more than anything else. And being
Right.
able to do that and decipher it and break it down and then find a way to make it happen, that's a skill set all on its own. It comes with knowledge and time and training and just perseverance and just spending time in your craft to learn those things. Now, a robot will repeat it better than anything else, better than anybody else.
Correct.
It'll repeat it exactly the same way every time.
Whether it's right or wrong.
That's right. And if one thing changes in your part, that robot doesn't know that one thing changed, and it will do it the way that you told it to do it. Like my dad used to always say, like, just do what I told you. Just do what I told you, like all the time. Just do what I told you.
Right.
Like, don't think about it. Just do it. That's a
Yeah.
robot, right?
Yeah.
A human is going to think about it. A good human is going to think about it while they're doing it. They're not going to go on autopilot. They're going to
Mhm.
be intentional with the ways that they're welding and the things that they're doing, whatever that is. People are automating all kinds of parts of their business, and it loses the human side of the work and the results that come from it.
The robot is an extension of your workforce,
Yes.
right? It doesn't replace your workforce. And so when we put the robot in place and started welding with it, the welds were terrible.
Yeah.
The welds were not dialed in. They looked terrible, right? I had both of my senior welding guys running over and pointing at that weld and said, "Come look at my weld." And
Yeah.
I'd walk over. I'm going, guys, it's not about that. This is about longevity for you. I want you to have another 15 years of work here. And there's a limit to your eyesight when you're welding all
Yes.
the time, right? There's all these constraints that I don't want you to have health issues and challenges from this stuff. Let me help you. Help
Right.
me help you, right? And now we laugh about it all the time. And when I'm doing plant tours, I always go to Mario, and we actually named the welding cell Mario's World.
Okay.
So I mean, that's it. And Mario's there, and it's his thing, and he's personalized it, made it his own thing. But he's got this smile from ear to ear because has totally taken ownership of this. And this was something he thought was going to replace his job.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to get kicked to the curb because we were going to do this. And I was like, no. And now we're making, he used to make 1,000 parts by hand, big pipe, big helixes that screw down in the ground. We're making 7,000 of those a year now.
Yeah.
And that's because of the robot doing that same joint time and time. It gets a piece count. It gets X amount per day. It takes a lot of the variability out of it. And Mario isn't worn out at the end of the day because the human can only move so much material. The robot can move it more consistently. So yeah, for sure.
And like you're saying, a lot of times when people add automation, they add robotics, it's never to get rid of people's jobs. It's to give people a better job and a safer job and, a better way of life. It's
Right.
like, we're trying to keep you healthy. This is a safer way for you to do the thing.
Yep.
We're transitioning jobs from, a dangerous job to a safe job. We want to use your mind as much as we want to use your body.
So when we make rebar cages, we make them out of 18 jumbo rebar, right? We used to have a saw that we had a guy running the saw, and he's fantastic with drop. He minimizes drop and minimizes our loss on these 50-foot pieces of rebar. And he used to hand pull these down the automation line into the saw. And I said, Juan, don't sweat it. I got a great Christmas gift for you. It's coming, buddy. And we put an automated bundle feed system in, and the saw automatically feeds the bar. So now he doesn't have to pull the bar anymore. And now he's programming it, and we've gotten even more production out of that saw. And we've gotten even tighter drop values and stuff. And the guy it's like, here's a guy that was in his mid 40s that had been pulling this bar his whole life. I joked with him. I said, your belly's going to look like mine because you're not pulling that bar anymore. Right. But his wife comes to me at a picnic and thanks me because his back isn't sore on the weekends anymore. Right. They can do more things. When you see those kind of things from automation, it makes it all worth it.
It's about quality of life.
Yeah.
At work and at home. I mean, again, it goes back to what we were talking about before, right? People's desires for work and life have changed in a lot of ways. And as employers and as companies and leaders, we have to look at those things and make adjustments and find those ways to make people's lives better.
Mm-hmm. That's our challenge. That's our best, right? That's us being at our best. I'm not the guy to run the saw. I'm not the guy to run the welding cell. My responsibility is making sure that those people have a long career and that we can continue to give them raises year in and year out, and they can continue to grow. As they have children that go to college, they have the resources to pay for those things, and weddings and all the things that people want to do in their lives and deserve. These people work extremely hard, and that they go home every day safe, and they go home and they can live their lives on the weekends and their time away from work. So yeah, that's all critical. It's critical stuff. You have to evaluate everything in the company to make it better for people to work there, for sure.
And that's one of the challenges that I think a lot of people at work don't totally understand. You'll have a really good year, right? In sales, great year. And everybody is deserving of raises and bonuses and all the stuff because you had a really good year. But in order to do that again next year, you have to have a better year because the company also has to make money because there are, insurance goes up and utilities go up and all the expenses go up and you just paid everybody more money. So now all of that has to change. And so, you have that like I've had that comment from people like, We just had a great year last year. Why do we have to raise the goals this year? Well, because at the end of the year, I can't come back to you and say, "Hey, remember how you got this raise this year? I'm going to have to take that back next year
Yeah.
because we missed all our goals."
Yeah.
And so you have like that new number becomes the bottom line of what you can achieve because we're making changes based on that number.
Right.
And so we
Right.
need to continue to grow so that we can continue to take care of all the people inside of our companies and our organizations.
It's funny. We were sitting on December 31st. We were sitting in the conference room with I was sitting there with my leadership team. I said, "Well, this is the only day of the year that I can rest on the number, right? I this is it. The numbers come in. We've made it. We've made our goal. Everything's good. And this is the only day I'm not going to worry about the number is
Right.
today because we met it. Because starting tomorrow, it's a clean slate, and now we got to be 5 to 6% up, and because everybody's looking at you, expecting you to have that plan,
Right.
expecting you to set that goal. How are we going to do it? What nuances are we going to change? How are we going to adjust the business? How are we going to adjust the people? What are we going to do? Right, and how are we going to get there? That's our goal. That's the fun of it. Um, that's the challenge in it, right?
Yeah.
I love that part of it. I really do. I love that part of it. I know you do too, because
Yeah.
you're an achiever. You're a driver.
I
That's
like
cool.
it. I like it. It
Yeah.
makes me happy. It makes me
Yeah.
happy. It's hard sometimes when you're watching like you know, Bears fan. I don't know if you've converted or you're still, you're a Giants fan or whatever. I don't know if those are bad words to you.
No, Jets and Giants. I was growing up. My older and my younger sons, the two on the ends, are Packers fans.
Oh
So don't.
God. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. I
Ugh.
know. I shouldn't mention that,
I mean,
right?
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We know what's wrong with them. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. But it's it. My friend and I, we would watch the Bears games, and especially this last one, we got really, really frustrated because like we are sitting there going, just take the field goal, take the points,
Right.
take the
Right.
points. Like, how do you win the game? You win the game by getting points. Get as many points as you can get. Just get the points. And what do? You end up losing because you don't have the points.
Yeah.
But then what I realize is I'm second guessing how they got there. They got there by not taking the points, by being bold and saying, we can do this. Like, we have confidence in our team. We're going to do this. And sometimes that works out and sometimes that doesn't work out. And, it's, that's why you have to trust your coaching and everything else. And it's really easy for me on the sidelines to be bitching about it 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later going, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
But you were there. Were you there the year before? Were you
Yeah.
there the year before that? Did you think the game was going to be any different? Did you not think the game was going to come down? Did you not think they were going to
No.
somehow tie that game at the end, right?
No.
What
Yeah.
what a fun season.
It
What
was
a
a
absolutely blast.
it was a great season. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I look at with our team is I don't know if you guys ever have this challenge, but sometimes when things don't go right, people don't want to talk about it. They kind of hope that nobody notices and they can sweep it under the rug a little bit. Um, and one of the things I'm trying to get people to understand is, and I try to talk about it all the time, is you have to look at this like a sports team. After
Mhm.
every game, you review every play, the good plays
Mhm.
and the bad plays, and you
Right.
talk about what worked really well and you want to do more of that. And you talk about what didn't work very well and you want to do less of that. And the things that didn't work well, you have to look at and say, okay, how would we have avoided that? Do we just have to scrap that whole thing together? Are there small changes? Was it just a fluke that we messed that up? What happened? But if you don't identify those things and at least call them out, then you have no idea. You're just lost.
Our mantra at Bots is trust.
Okay.
TRUST. That's our thing, trust.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, it starts with me. You have to be able to trust me, trust my judgment, trust who I am. How often do you go around and how many people have you scolded or yelled at
Me?
in your time? Yes, you leading your organization
Maybe
and
two.
embarrassed someone.
Maybe two. Maybe.
You know how many times I've done that at Bots?
Zero. Yeah.
And I remind people of that. You fail forward.
Yeah.
Fail forward. It's that we fail forward together, right? You're not going to get scolded. You're not going to lose your job. You're not. Let's figure out the why, and then let's fail forward and let's move on.
Yep.
And it's amazing when people come to work there, they don't necessarily come from that environment.
Hmm.
Some people work scared. And
Yes.
when they work scared, they work not to make a mistake. It's like playing a sport. When you play a sport not to make a mistake, you don't end up in the playoffs. You think Caleb Williams was playing not to make a mistake?
No, he was playing to make a play.
Right, right. If he was 3 of 15 in the first half, he was still showing up for the second half. And talk to me at the end of the day. Let's see how it shakes out, right?
Yeah.
So that's important. It's important to allow people to you're gonna be that parachute for them. You're not gonna let them make an error that's gonna cause harm to someone. You're gonna create the boundaries. You're gonna put the cones up for them, but still let them work within that parameter. If they make a little mistake, it's not the end of the world.
No, they're great. Mistakes are
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
They point out ways to get better and improve, right?
yeah,
That's what that looks like. Like, again, if you look at the Bears season, there were a lot of mistakes, and somehow they won those games, right? With the wrong coach, which we had in years past, those
yes,
wins are treated as exactly that. Like, everything went great, we won. You
yeah.
have to have the right coach to say, even though we won, there's things that we need to look at and get better
Yeah,
at. We have to look
this
at
is
the
flawed.
mistakes so that we can move forward and be better in the future, not just scraping by. I don't want to scrape by.
Yeah, nothing's perfect. Life is flawed,
Yes.
and things are flawed, right? You got to be able to work around that. You got
Hmm.
to be able to figure out, okay, this isn't going to be 100%, but it is close to 100 as I can get it. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. 99, 98, 97, 96. There's always circumstances surrounding everything, but at least you're in the 90s. You're not in the 15s and 20s, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking at the needle.
And even in the 90s, look at what didn't work
Right.
and
Right.
see if you can make that better. Because if you're at 90 and you can get to 91 this year, awesome.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is have a fluke. Maybe you got in the 90s by a fluke, and then next year you're at like 85, 86 because you didn't address those things that you needed to address. You just like
Right.
you lucked out on some stuff.
And as leaders, we know that.
Yeah.
You know if you catch a flyer, you know if you catch luck, and you got to be lucky sometimes too, but you guard against it the next year. You
Yeah.
don't allow yourself to settle on that's going to happen again.
Yep.
And you make those adjustments, and you learn from why you were in that circumstance where luck did help you push you along. But yeah, it's part of the journey. It's part of that journey, and just staying with the flow and just keep moving forward.
Yeah. So what's going on with bots? How are you guys with the economy and the ridiculousness of everything? And are you guys affected by tariffs and all the things that nobody seems to know how to control or have to navigate? And again, go with the current. What does
I
that
I
look like
got
for
to
you guys?
I have a couple stories surrounding that. So we're a domestic house. So what we purchase, it has to be melted and manufactured in the United States. And you hear about onshoring, right?
Hmm.
And you hear about all these people that now we're going to make all these products here.
Yep.
Well, in our industry, the supply chain is extremely tight and small.
Yep.
And the constraints that are being put on people to make more or make it here, well, the raw material doesn't exist.
Mm.
I mean, there's issues where there's people in this country that provide bolts and fasteners for the automotive market. The only place to get that steel is in Canada. We don't make the steel in the United States, so they have to get it from Canada. And trust me, Ford isn't going to allow you to raise their price to pay for a
Right.
tariff. It doesn't work. So where are they taking in the short? Where's that margin going? Where's that happening? And because of that, it indirectly hurts us because we lose someone that makes, for instance, we don't make our own nuts and washers. We make the bolts. We have to buy nuts and washers. Someone in the automotive market making a decision, that same manufacturer is making automotive parts, and they're also making our structural parts.
Hmm.
So what side are they going to work with? Who are they going to make parts for? Who wields the bigger stick? The
Yep.
automotive. The automotive does. So we end up with less product. We would end up with tighter supply chain. And part of our supply chain, we just had a steel mill close. They're closing their Alton Steel is closing on January 30th. They
That's
announced it
crazy.
They announced it Monday, and we have to. There's steel coming out of that mill that we've already got planned parts that are going to come off bolt makers with that steel. Now that steel's just going away. It's not going to be in the market anymore. So that's been a challenge. And then I had the opportunity to go to Washington in April
Okay.
for a fly-in. I think
Yeah,
you did
those
a
are great,
fly-in.
aren't they?
I went with the IFI, and we went for the fly-in, and we had all these meetings planned. It didn't matter if you were a Democrat or Republican, in the middle, on an extreme side. No one knew
Hmm.
what was coming next, no matter who you spoke to. There
Yeah.
was so much mass confusion, and no one knew the rules and how to understand the rules and how to decipher the rules. So when the government's like that, and they're like that in April, and these people are like dead deer in the headlights, you know that's gonna circulate down, and it's just another challenge that we got to deal with. And we saw a lot of spending in 2025 that got frozen because of indecisiveness.
Yep.
People couldn't make decisions because they didn't know whether they were going to get the funding or not get the funding. So they just said, we're just going to stop. We're going to call a timeout. Well, when you have growth and you have to meet growth, timeouts aren't good, you
No.
know. So that was a big challenge for us, especially last year. This year, it seems like people are settling in a little bit. It seems a little bit better, but it's still going to be a slog. It's still going to be a fight to the end.
What doesn't make sense to me, and I am not a geopolitical genius by any stretch of the
Nor am
imagination.
I.
But what seems like it would make sense to me is for the government to look at the steel mills that are that still exist in the US, because there aren't many of them.
Right.
And maybe, I'm not saying I love bailouts, but maybe a little bit of a bailout where you say, what do you need to continue moving this forward? Because we need you. Like,
Right.
you need tax breaks. You need us to give you a loan that you don't have to pay back, or it's a zero interest. Like, what is the thing that you
Support
need?
equipment,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
support automation. Yeah, focus the funding where the funding should be focused. Right.
Because when
Um,
you're saying, we want independence, we want to be able to manufacture on our own for the things that we need, whether that's aerospace, defense, medical, any of those things, right, that are really, really important to us as a sovereign nation, to
mhm.
not have to be dependent on other people. It starts with the material, and it's going to take a lot longer for, I mean, like, people say you can't start up a steel mill overnight. And I'm like, well, Elon Musk, I mean, he lands rockets. So I think that he could probably figure out how to start a steel mill, but there's no incentive there, right? But if you
Right.
took the steel mills that are already in existence and you said, guys, what do you need? How do we help you to become more profitable and help you to have people buy your product versus Canada or China or Japan or whatever that looks like, and put forth an effort to do that? That will be a great thing.
Something has to give.
Yeah.
Like, you can't make decisions in a vacuum.
No.
You've got to understand the circumstances, and try to understand as many of the circumstances before you make a decision. And it's got to play itself out. There's got to, technology isn't steel is steel.
Yeah.
You've got it. There's no technology. You can make it a little bit better, or a little bit quicker, yeah, but it's not all just going to. Millions of tons are going to come from somewhere just
No.
because of this technology breakthrough. You
You're not
still
going to
have.
use AI to make steel.
No,
I mean,
for sure.
all
Yeah,
the tech centers and data centers and all the stuff, like, great. We'll have imaginary steel, but
yeah,
we'll have like pictures of steel, but we won't have steel.
yeah.
So, like, we should put, my opinion, again, just normal everyday guy, the government should be putting resources towards doing the things that we need to be able to do so that we can do the things that everybody wants us to be able to do. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. That would be fantastic, and get out of the way, like the utility piece of it. You know how long it takes to get the permitting done on a utility improvement? Like 10 years?
It's
Like
crazy.
like 10 years. How about let's figure it does it really take 10 years to figure out the permitting process? I mean,
It's
really?
crazy.
Yeah. Look, why don't we figure out a way to get rid of some of that, red tape and do some things that really make sense and make things flow and make energy flow and so our utility bills aren't going to go, I know you look at your electric bill, what did it go up last year, right? What's the
Yeah.
gas bills look like this year? Energy and power are all part of this, the steel, all these things. Those decisions, we need some people that can creatively think and have to be held accountable to creative thinking to make some solutions that are going to work for us. We got to keep our voices as loud as we can. You got to keep and stay in front of it. You can't sit on your hands and be silent.
No, no, that's honestly, that's one of the reasons that I love serving on the TMA with you, is
Mhm.
because there is advocacy for manufacturers in Illinois. It's fantastic.
What a great organization the TMA
I
is.
agree. I
I
agree.
for so many different reasons, and it means so many things to so many of the, like, there's 660 some members. It means something different to every single one of those members.
Yeah.
We don't have CNC machines at Bots. Everybody thinks the TMA is a CNC training center. Yeah, it is that for some companies. For Bots, it's not. For
Right.
Bots, it helps me develop my leaders. It helps me develop my human resources people. I mean, I'm not trying to pitch the TMA because I love it so much, but it's great. And one of the really cool things, like we're talking about, like minds. It's lonely at the top.
Hmm.
Well, getting to share and be on the board with you and getting to meet. I mean, when I first started the TMA, Tony, you're one of the first people that came up and were so easy to talk to and made the room so welcoming. You and Mike
No, I love
Magliano,
Mags.
right?
I love Mags.
Mags is so awesome. You too. I could talk to you guys forever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not enough time in the day. Welcoming that, and that's why the TMA really it's special for me, and it's special for all the people at Bots. I know that, and a lot of other people feel that same way for sure.
I know when we had when we had the board retreat, it was great. I mean, it was great for me and Kelly to be able to meet the people. And when I say meet the people, it's like, you get a side of people when you're at a networking event,
Right,
but then when you're spending 2 days with them, you get to learn more about them. And
right,
with some people, it's like you're meeting them for the first time because, like, you kind of see behind what the
yeah,
public persona is. And there wasn't a lot of that on the board retreat because you have genuine people who are there for genuine reasons, to see the organization continue to grow and to see manufacturing continue to grow and thrive in whatever ways that is. And I loved the conversations and how, one of the things that people talked about was the relationship side of things, the human
hmm
side of things, right? Like,
hmm
and we talked about that a little bit earlier, is like, you look at manufacturing and people always think it's automation, it's machinery, it's technology, it's, all of that sort of thing. It's AI. But the thing that it really is it's people. It's making people better. It's growing your individuals. It's a personal industry where, you
right,
can manufacture anything, but you need somebody to come up with the thing. Like, it's all
yeah,
based on people.
right,
And all the technical classes and all the other stuff is fine. It's great, but you need the people, and you need that part of it to have any sort of success. And I think the TMA does an outstanding job in the personal people side of things.
They do, and we're thankful as can be for it, and thankful for your friendship and the other people on the board. How cool was that conversation? We were in there solving business challenges together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How heated and cool was that?
Yeah.
And the energy level went from like 0 to 10, right?
Yeah.
Because they threw a little problem, a little morsel to us on the table, and we were just attacking the. We talked about it in the elevator, down to the ground floor.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, meeting's over. We're not done.
Yeah, we're not done. Wait a minute. What do you mean?
Well, we have to go on a boat cruise. No, we're not going on a boat cruise. We got to finish talking about what we're talking about. Like,
That was so fun.
or we'll
So
just
fun to
bring
see
the
other
meeting to
people
the
interact.
boat. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
But it's the passionate people that make a difference and make an impact. And I think you have people that join organizations because they want to put the logo on the bottom of their website,
yeah.
right? And they can say that they belong, and that's fine. But those are generally the same people that say, I don't really get anything out of it.
Right, right.
Because
Well,
you got to
lean in.
show up.
Yeah, show up, lean in,
Yeah.
raise your hand, participate. Make it mean something if it doesn't mean something.
Hmm.
You know, and don't be that guard at the door. Let other people, maybe if you're not going to go to something, let someone else go to something.
Right.
Let someone else go to a breakfast. Let someone else go to an HR event. Let someone else go to a evening event. And let your employees enjoy it too. You're not going to lose your employees.
If you
People
do,
aren't
you
so
deserve to
good.
lose them.
Yeah. If you're worried about, you're right. If you're worried about that, you do deserve to lose them.
I can't have
20,
my employees go around and meet all these people. They might leave me to go work for them. Well, then you suck. They should leave. Like, it's not slavery, right? Work is not
no,
slavery.
nope.
Anytime somebody comes and they're like, I'm just not happy here. I'm like, listen, we can talk about how you can become more happy, but if you don't see a way for you to be happy here on a regular basis, then you should leave,
Yeah.
because this isn't slavery. And I want you to have the best life that you can. I hope that it's here, but if it's not, I understand. How can I help you?
Yeah, I subscribe to that too, Tony. That's so refreshing to hear, because you want to make it better and you want to move forward and let them move forward, because you'll someone's going to come and that's going to mean a lot to them, and that job that person vacated, the next person comes in, it might mean more to them. You
It's an
might change.
opportunity.
You might. I hired a couple of guys 5 6 years ago. Their wives came up to me at our Christmas party and told me how I changed their families' lives because of the opportunity. They had never had an opportunity like this before. And these are guys that are like my sales leader now, guys that are my operations manager, like really top performing people. And now their families are just so grateful. I've watched their kids grow up.
Yeah.
It's so cool. That's such a refreshing attitude to have towards it.
And it's amazing when you can do that. Like, if you gotta, for me, it comes down to love God and love people, right? If
Hmm.
you can love people, that means you're not using people. They're not just a
Yes,
tool in your toolbox. They're not a cog in the wheel. They're a person. They're a human being.
they're
And
not disposable.
and you should want what's best for them.
Right.
I got a rule with a couple guys. One of them is no longer here, but my rule was, I have an open door. You want to come in and talk to me? Come in and talk to me. But the first thing I need you to say is, I'm not quitting. And then we can solve anything else.
Right.
But
That's
when
great.
you're like, can we talk? Like, my first thought is like, okay, are they leaving?
Yeah.
So as soon as you can tell me I'm not quitting, cool, we can move to the next thing. Like,
Yeah.
we can work on whatever that is. Let's move
Yeah.
forward. And so I had that rule with this guy, and he came in and he sat down, and I looked at him, and he said, I'm quitting. And I was like, okay, uh, what's going on? And he told me. I was like, where are you going? Okay, cool, man. I'm really proud of you. I'm glad that you got this opportunity. I'm glad to see where you grew from where you came here to where you're going now, and how people find value in you, and
Hmm.
you're able to better yourself. I hope that you got some of that from us. I hope you stay in touch, and you have a lot of success. And if you don't, and you want to come back, doors always open.
Right.
No
And
hard
you
feelings.
elevated. Yeah. You elevated his journey. You
Yeah.
you you were able to elevate his journey, and he continues to thrive. And that's what you want for people at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be their opportunity with us, and when they were with us, is going to be a part of their history. It's going to be a
Yes.
part of their story. And I want them to look and say, you know what? That guy cared about me. He cared about my family. He made my family better. He made my life better. And I'm appreciative of that. And hopefully they'll go like this.
We can't make better parts until we have better humans, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I look at. That I was talking to, my brother called me, and he was like, what's your goal for this year for work? Like, more profitability, this and that. And I was like, yes. I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be more profitable, but really, we have a young team here. I want to see how I can help them to become better humans, better men, right? Like, what does
Mhm.
it mean to be a man? What does that look
Mhm.
like? How can
Right.
I help in that journey? And if we can accomplish those things, then we're automatically going to be more profitable.
Yeah.
But
The
you
other
got to
things are
start
gonna
at
follow.
at bringing people along and making them better in what they're trying to do. And then focus on the other stuff later. It's like, when you sit down and you go over core values or mission or purpose, and people are like, my mission is to make money. Great. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
So what? How much? Because it's never going to be enough.
Nope.
So you're going to make more this year. We already talked about it. Next year, you know what you got to do? Make more. And then next year, make more. Like, you're never accomplishing your mission at that point.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
you're chasing after some invisible, fake, arbitrary number for no reason. And you don't know what the climate of life is going to be. You don't know what the circumstances are going to be. So to put out this arbitrary number is like, good on you. And what if you don't hit that? Now the year's a failure. Well, look at all the people that you have here. Did you have personal growth with your team? Are you further along than you were before? Are relationships better than they were the year before? Is there more trust, like you said, than there was the year before? Like, those are all tangible things that you can do,
right,
and make adjustments with. And if you can do those things, then you should automatically become more profitable in the end.
It follows. It's so critical to have that team in alignment and have everybody rowing the same way because you care about them.
Yeah. And you can't fake it. I think that's the thing, right? Like, you cannot fake caring about people.
Nope. They see right through it.
I can't remember who talked about it. They were like, culture changes where everybody puts a ping pong table in their conference room, or you got video games or whatever, and you can have all that stuff. But if you have the ping pong table and two people are in there playing ping pong, and you go in there and you're like, what are you guys doing? Get back to work. Like, why do you have the ping pong table? You're not allowing people to have relationships. That's not what's really important to you. You just read a thing and said, like, ping pong helps work. Like, no, ping pong can help relationships, which can help work. But if you don't let the relationships foster, then you should just not spend the money on a ping pong table.
Amen.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna do 5 questions?
Sure.
It's stupid and fun. Oh, hold on. All right, here we go. We're going to do 5 questions. Get some music going for us. If you could make one rule that everyone had to follow, what would that rule be?
People would have to tell people how much they appreciate them every single day.
Ooh, just with everybody.
Yeah.
That's so good. I had once heard that, like, when you have a thought about somebody and you want to express gratitude or bless them with your words, you need to do it, because otherwise you're just robbing them of that blessing for no reason other than you're worried about how it's going to make you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's free.
Cost you nothing to do it.
I love that. I love that. You need to appreciate people every single day. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 2. What is the one thing that you're superstitious about?
It's funny. It just happened yesterday. Black cats walking across the street, and Kevin and I are driving home from Watts, and a black cat goes right in front of the car. And my German mother had this saying, links to rinks to, and she'd say it in German. So I'm like on the internet looking from left to right, is good or is it bad, or what the heck went on? So I think I had the good luck. The cat going the way that it was good luck. At least that's what I'm going with.
I think if you believe that's the good luck way, then it is the good luck way.
So I'm going with that. That's what I like.
I mean, at that point, you're going to make or break your own luck.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, like, if you think, oh no, now it's bad luck, you're doomed.
Yeah, you're doomed. You're setting you up for failure. Yeah. So I'm going with the positive approach.
Somebody told me there was a story about like a Chinese proverb or something, right? And there was this farmer, and everybody said, oh, you're so lucky you have these sons. You're so lucky that you have these sons. And he's like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And the one son was out, and he was riding he took a horse and he left, and his family came and they were like, oh, this is so unfortunate for you. You lost your son. And he said, maybe it is, maybe it's not. And then the guy came back and he brought like 2 horses with him instead. And he was like, oh, this is so great. You're so lucky. Now you have both your sons and 2 horses. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. And then his son falls off the horse and breaks his back. And they're like, oh, this is so unfortunate for you. And it just keeps going up and up. And then the military comes and they're like, we're here for your son. And he's like, well, my son's got a broken back. Well, he can't serve with us. Well, you're fortunate. Like, and so you don't know what it is. It's a mindset. So if it's good luck, it's because that's your mindset. If it's bad luck, it's because that's what your mindset. That's what you're going to see. So there you go. For whatever that's worth. Question number 3. If you were able to swap genders for one day, how would you spend your time?
Oh my gosh. There is a reason I have 3 sons. Because Kathleen will tell me time and time again, I do not understand the female mind.
Yeah.
How would I spend my time? I would probably try to gather as many women as I can to have a really unguarded conversation about what's wrong with the male population. I really could understand when she says, you don't understand me.
I think that's good. That's solid. That is a solid answer. That's a solid answer. Question number 4. If animals could talk, what would be the rudest and why?
Probably alligators.
Okay. All right.
Just because they're nasty and they're always in the swamps and waters and all that kind of. They're usually where it's hot, and who likes to be hot with that thick skin that they got and all that. Yeah, they would be bad.
All right. Bad. And last one. This can be interesting for you. Question number 5. How many kindergartners could you take in a fight before you were outnumbered?
I don't know. I would struggle to fight a kindergarten.
Now, you've seen the old Pet Cemetery, right?
Yes.
Like Damien comes for you, and he's not a normal kindergartner. He's got some evil in his eyes.
I coached youth football, and when they couldn't figure a play out, I would run the play, and I would do it as if I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And it'd take usually 5 or 6 of them, but they usually get me to the ground at some point. So I'm going to go with that.
All right. I appreciate it. That's fun. All right. That's 5 questions with my friend Larry Spelman.
Awesome.
It's some ridiculous stuff, but you can't only talk about the deep, heavy stuff. You gotta have some fun every once in a while too.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Anything else you want to chat about or cover before I let you go for today? I mean, we're gonna have to do this again because I feel like there are things that were on the list that we didn't totally touch on. But I mean, you can't go on for hours.
You're fun. You're a blessing to be around, Tone. You're fun. I could do this for another couple hours. Yeah, we definitely have to do this again. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah,
appreciate you caring enough to give me a voice and give me an opportunity to brag a little bit about the great people that I'm involved with every day.
Yeah. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pray. Do you have any prayer requests for today?
Basically, all the people that are involved with our extended bots family. I want to make sure that God is looking out for their well-being, and mostly importantly, their family. We've got a couple of people that are having some health conditions, and their wives are having some health conditions. So, let's say a special note for them, please.
You got it. All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to talk with my friend Larry. Thank you that you brought us together and you put us in each other's lives, and that we could be encouraged by each other, and we can laugh with each other, and we can learn from each other. And I just pray that you would be with all the people in our organizations and the people around us, that you would watch over them, that you would protect them, that you would bring them strength and health when they need it. But more importantly, that you would draw them to yourself and allow them to know you and have a relationship with you, and save their lives from whatever it is that they need. We are all in trouble, and you are the only way, truth, and life. And so we just, we give this time to you, and we ask you to bless it and use it, and that you would be glorified through it. And we love you. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well said. Thank you.
My guy. Thank you for all that you do, for making me smile and laugh every time I see you, and for just being like big, but also warm and big, which is a good thing. I appreciate every time we get to spend some time together and laugh and do the serious stuff and do the silly things. So thanks for
The
all that
silly
you
things.
bring to the TMA and to bots and to my life. I appreciate you.
You're awesome, Ton. Appreciate you very much.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Talk to
All
you.
right,
See ya.
bye. That is Larry Spellman from JH Bots. I love that guy. I really do. He has a big personality, big heart, and everything they do over there is big. So if you are looking for that kind of thing, call him. And if you're not looking for that kind of thing, call him. He probably has a resource to point you in the right direction for whatever it is that you're looking for, if it's manufacturing made. If you have questions on leadership, on questions on all that stuff, he is a great resource. I am looking forward to the next time I get to see him and hang out in person. But before that, we will be at MD&M West. We are going to MD&M West. I'm going to throw that back up there again. That is next week, Anaheim, California. It's nice and warm there. It's like 80 degrees, I heard, and projected to be sunny the whole time. That is February 3rd through the 5th in Anaheim, California. Be part of the medical device manufacturing show. Scan that QR code, go enter or get your registration however you can, and add that coupon code NBT26 to save yourself some money. And if you are going to Anaheim, this is a fun thing that I forgot to mention before. We are going to be bowling. We're going to be bowling for our combat wounded veterans, bowling for the vets. This is my friends over at MR Mold and Engineering are hosting a bowling event Wednesday, February 4th in Anaheim from 6 to 8 p.m. All the proceeds for that are gonna go to iWarriors, where they give iPads to combat wounded veterans. I'm going to be there. I know some team at Westminster is going to be there. Progressive Components is going to be there. I know Whitney from Plastics Association is going to be there. We're going to have a good time bowling. And I mean, who doesn't love bowling? It's just a thing that we can do for the last 3 years. MR Mold has tried to have a golf outing and they've succeeded, but it has also rained. And so in preparation or in cautiousness for rain, they decided, let's go bowling. You can still drink and bowl and have fun and network and do all the stuff. And I would argue that you can network even more because you're going to see everybody the whole time. So scan that QR code or go to iwarriors.org/bowling or /bowl. I'm sorry. And we'll see you in Anaheim, California. That's all I got for today on behalf of myself and Larry, and I'm even going to say the TMA. Thank you for watching and listening. Take care and God bless.